Row, row, row.
Here on Kentucky Ladies Farm.
I'm looking at it.
You get over here. It's not easy. Good afternoon, friends, and welcome back to the Homestead. So today I'm going to discuss with you our goals for 2022. So come along while we get that going. All right, friends. So first goal that we have is surviving winter. And this is going to be the first winter that we've ever had in Kentucky, let alone the first winter that we've ever had where there's been snow and potential of our electricity going out. So how are we preparing and being ready for winter? So when I say surviving winter, what do we have planned for the homestead? So we did purchase a generator, a very large generator that we can hook up to the house and hook up to all of our freezers, our refrigerator, our pump house, which supplies our water because we are on well water, and as well as anything else that we need to have electricity to during that time frame. Last year we were informed that they did have a power outage here in our mountain and they lost power for a week. So that's definitely something that we need to take into consideration when it comes to surviving our winter. Second thing is, do we have enough food to last us that 1 week? Because if we don't have electricity, chances are that we're probably snowed in, which means we can't even get to our local grocery store, which is about 25 minutes from here. And our snow, they tell us that the plows don't really get up onto our mountain that's directly behind me, but they do get it to the street that is about a mile down. But if it's really bad winter and there's too much snow, then they're not going to be coming up here. They're only going to be doing the main highways. So I want to make sure I have enough food in the house for us and for the animals. That means our dogs, our cat, our pigs, and our chickens. Making sure I have enough food to last at least 2 months if anything were to happen. The second thing I'm going to be doing during wintertime is also researching the farmer's market. That is a goal of ours, to get into the farmer's market this summer with our vegetables and our fruits. But first I need to do the research in order to do that. And I'm going to be contacting our local town to see what I need to do to get into the farmer's market, any certificates that I need to have, anything showing about our farm. So I'm going to get that done this winter, January and February, before before spring and summer come, so that I can have that ready to go and hopefully get us into the farmer's market. So goal number 2 for 2022 is to get my grow room going. And that is going to be the pump house. In the pump house, we have the pump, we have a refrigerator, we also have our ice machine in there. So I'm going to leave the ice machine because it needs to be connected to the pump. But the refrigerator we're going to take out, put that in the garage, and then I'm going to completely gut it. I'm going to put the shelves that we put into our pantry, I want to put those into the grow room. And that's where I'm going to have all my seed starts with the correct lighting and everything else, so that way I can grow my seeds, get them ready to be put into the garden. Because we are in Kentucky now, no longer California. Back in California, I can just start growing in February, start putting our plants out there, and I have a long growing season. Here, our frost doesn't end until May 20th. So once we have our last frost, that means I can go ahead and take my seeds that I've already started and get them going into the garden. So I need somewhere I can start them now, and that way I can start growing them in February and March, and that way they'll be ready for the big garden come May. All right, our third goal for 2022 is to get our painting done. There are a lot of painting projects that we have here on the farm just to freshen up. I want to paint the pump house, I want to paint the garage, I want to paint the barn, and I also want to paint all the shutters on the house and the picnic area as well as the barn. So getting those shutters and everything else painted is goal number 3 for 2022. All right, fourth goal for 2022 is to get my seeds started. So I am going to be starting in February with putting my seeds into seed trays and get those germinating and starting to grow. I have a lot of varieties that I want to try, plus I want to stick to the ones that I know we like as a family. So now we have a huge garden to be able to do that in, and I am planning on going a little crazy with it. But I'm excited to have all the different vegetables out in the garden to see what we can get for 2022. All right, friends, goal number 5 for 2022 is our kitchen garden. I have an idea of getting raised beds outside the kitchen window. I want to be able to have my herbs, spices, and things like that in that garden where I can just go out there when I'm cooking dinner. I can pick fresh, or I have plenty that I could put into my dehydrator so I can grind up my own spices because I use a lot of spices in my cooking. And it will be nice to have my own spice whenever I need it versus having to run to the store or depending on the grocery store for the spices there. So that will be goal number 5 for 2022. All right, friends, goal number 6 for 2022 is going to be our breeder pigs and our feeder pig. So we are planning on butchering our feeder pig in April or May, depending on what time works best for us. We are also planning on having our female pigs bred in probably February or March, depending on when they go into heat. So that way we can have piglets come early spring so that we can have those to go to people for meat, or we'll keep them for ourselves depending on how many we get so that we can put them in the freezer here at the homestead. All right, friends, goal number 7 for 2022 is to get our meat birds back in production. So we will definitely be ordering 80 birds at a time, and I'm hoping to do 2 to 3 sections of our meat birds this spring, summer, and into fall. And our reason for doing 80 birds at a time is we do have neighbors that have asked to get in with our meat birds, and that way we will help raise them and we also help butcher, and they're just going to help offset the cost of the whole process. So we'll be doing 80 at a time. Plus, we notice that we get a discount if we do at least 80 or more birds when it comes to shipping them and for price of bird. So to make it better for ourselves and our friends and family, we're going to go ahead and do the 80 at a time. Definitely not going to do the 160 because that was just way too many. But that will be our goal number 7 for 2022. All right, friends, goal number 8 for 2022 is going to be planting a year's worth of food in our garden. I am going to be preserving it by doing our canner as well as dehydrating and also freezing. Those are the 3 methods that I have right now. I have been looking at doing a freeze dryer, but it's going to hold off until we have a little bit extra cash because I have seen that those are pretty expensive. But that is a goal probably for next year, is to get into dehydrating. But I do have my canner and I have the large canner, so I'm excited to pull that out. I definitely go through a lot of tomato sauce, so I am planning on putting away a lot of tomato sauce for next year and this year, just so that we have tons to go through with my family. They love their Mexican rice. And that's at least 1 can of tomato sauce with each Mexican rice. And I make that probably 5 to 6 times a week. So definitely going to have to do that. All right, friends, goal number 9 for 2022 is going to be to expand our orchard. We would like to add at least 10 more trees to our orchard just so that we can increase the fruits that we're going to be getting. And I would like to put a couple nut trees down there. So depending on what nuts work best here in Kentucky, we're going to do a little research on that and also get that into the garden as well. Goal number 10 for 2022 is to get a greenhouse. I would love to have a greenhouse. That way I can extend my growing season as well as start my growing season earlier by having it indoors where I can control the temperature during the winter and the fall. Winter, fall, spring, summer, all those months, I can control it by having it inside a greenhouse. So that is another goal number 10 for 2022. All right, friends, goal number 11 for 2022 is to add more livestock to the farm. And we are first going to start off with cows. We do have perimeter fencing around our mountain, and the previous owners did have cows up in there, so I'm planning on getting cows. We're not sure how many cows we're going to get this year. We do have a neighbor that wants to go in on cows with us, as well as a family member who wants to go in on cows with us. So we're going to play it by ear as to when we're going to get the cows and exactly how many we'll get. Goats are definitely something that I want to have on the homestead. It's something I've always wanted. It's just about getting the structure to have the goats, because we have been told that they are escape animals, and I don't want to have our goats escaping, going into other people's properties, other people's garden, and then have to hear about that. So I definitely want to make sure that I have a secure area to put my goats before we do get them. Another one that I'm looking at getting is bees. I would love to get into bees, but that in itself is a whole nother ball game. There's a lot I need to learn first before I actually get bees, because I don't want to get a colony and then they die or they take off, something happen. I want to make sure I know exactly what I'm doing before I get into that. So those are two animals that we would like to have on the homestead, but it might not happen in 2022. That might be it next year in 2023. All right, goal number 12 for 2022 is an indoor goal for me. I am planning on getting into sourdough starter. I definitely want to get into bread making. I want to get into kombucha. Those are all skills that I want to learn to help preserve different foods here on the homestead. Also, our pantry downstairs is something that I definitely need to get more involved in. I want to have a year's worth of food from the garden, as well as a year's worth of stuff that I have to buy from the grocery store to have in our pantry, so that we are secure no matter what for at least 1 year. And that will include like our flour, our sugar, rice, beans, things that we're not going to be able to grow here on the homestead, but those are definitely staples that we need in this house. So those are things that I'm looking as another goal for the homestead. It's a personal goal of my own to have here inside the house that I need to be able to master in 2022. All right, friends, so that was our goals for 2022, and I do have the kids here, and they each have a goal of what they want to see in 2022 here on the farm. Jake, what is your goal for 2022?
I want to work my way up to hunting a deer.
He wants to work his way up to hunting a deer. He did get a gun for Christmas, so he's excited to definitely use that gun and hopefully get a deer this year. That deer is another way to feed us on the homestead. We can definitely put that in the freezer, and then the kids can use the hide to decorate their bedroom downstairs. All right, friends, so I have Josh here. And Josh, what is your goal for 2022?
Catching a little fishy.
He wants to go fishing and catch some fish. So we do have some little fish in our creek, and that will be another way that we'll be able to feed our family on the homestead, catch fish, and put those in the freezer for this year.
Oh.
All right, friends, I have my father-in-law with us. And Willie, what is your goal for 2022?
Okay. My goal is to serve the Lord a little stronger than I did this year. For this year. I want for last year. Been serving the Lord for 21 years. So I want to do a little stronger in the Lord.
All right, there you have it, folks. All right, friends, thanks for coming by the homestead today while I discuss our goals for 2022. I hope you also have your own goals for your homestead or your family. Please drop them down in the comments. Let me know what you got your goals for. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your friends and family. As always, I hope all is well, and have a blessed day.
Oh, look at that, exactly what it looks like.
Oh, Lord. Oh. Okay, that was